Hey guys, today is May 2nd, 2023, and today we're going to talk about the price of Bitcoin. There is a Fed meeting going on right now, and tomorrow they're going to talk about whether they want to raise interest rates higher. Before we begin this discussion, please read the disclaimer. You can pause this video as you read it. Okay, so in my last videos and charts, I talked about how this Fed meeting today and tomorrow is very important, and basically the Fed has been raising interest rates to fight inflation, right, for the past year. We all know this, but the important thing is, are they going to keep raising it over 5%, right? Because right now it's just below 5%, and I've said many times in my last couple of videos that I believe the Fed will hike 2 more times, 25 basis points rise, and we will have a terminal rate of just over 5%. But of course, right now we're starting to see the effects, right? Like in March, we saw a lot of regional banks collapse, right? And just recently, First Republic just got sold to J.P. Morgan. So and right now we're starting to see some other banks, smaller banks, starting to plunge in the stock market, which is why we're seeing the market down today. But also because in anticipation of possible rate hikes and what Jerome Powell might say tomorrow at the Fed meeting, right? Because that's also important, not just what he might do. So tomorrow, I think the market is already pricing in 25 basis points. But what's more important is perhaps is what Jerome Powell says going forward. Does he believe that inflation is going to still be a challenge, or does he believe we can have a soft landing and avoid a official recession? Right? I said in my last video, I think that the market can pull back. Bitcoin can pull back to 25,000, right, which is just at the 100-day moving average. And the reason why I said this is that my thesis about 2 weeks ago was that we would follow something like a clean chart, something like 2019, where we saw a 26% impulse move up and we consolidated, right? Same thing here, 26% impulse move up, consolidated, and then push up higher, right, into this echo rally. 4 years later, 4 years later, just sort of like a echo rally following the 4-year cycle. But the fact that we got this bearish engulfing candle, I said that that's sort of invalidated, and we might see something more similar to 2016, right? And 2016, where it's much more slow and steady, which I think is actually better and healthier for the market. So that is what I think the market is probably going to do, and that means we have more pullbacks than just a sprint higher, right? So if that is the case, and we are making lower highs right now, right? If we're not able to break above 30,000, I do believe that you can see that this 30,000 level is hitting this Fibonacci level, right? So there is rejection on the Fibonacci level. However, I do think that 25,000 is a nice level of support because, as you can see, 25,000 support, resistance level here and here. These are, swing high levels, and we usually when we come down, we tend to retest these previous resistance level, and if we're able to hold it, and along with a confluence of other factors such as the 100-day moving average, if we're able to hold this level, we tend to flip that to support, right? And also talked about how not only is 30,000 this Fibonacci resistance level, but it's also a very strong level of support that we had in our last bull market, which finally broke in 2022, right, during the bear market. And we just saw this huge plunge. So the fact that we're coming to retest this 30,000 level, I think it's going to be typical. I think it's going to be strong resistance, right? And we also have this 100-week moving average looming just ahead, right? So again, I think 30,000 resistance, we can probably, in my opinion, there's still a good chance we're going to fall to 25,000 and see if we can hold that as support, right? Fear and greed index right now it was a lot higher last week, but now there's a lot more fear in the market, right? It's ahead of this Fed meeting, and so we're starting to see this drop. But yeah, so in the short term, as long as we're able to hold this 50-day, which is a silver line, things should look okay. But I mean, we're pretty much on the edge right here. So if we start to close a lot of daily candles below, I do think we're gonna go down to at least 25,000 to retest. So that is my short-term view. Let's look. We had a monthly close, so let's look at the monthly close. And of course, we had 4 weekly, monthly candles in a row. And usually, when we have this many weekly candles, generally the market is going to pull back a little bit, right? I mean, it's not out of the picture for the market to pull back once in a while, even in a healthy uptrend. So again, just on a technical basis, we might see the market pull back just a little bit, right? And so yeah, and also we spent a considerable amount of time below the 200-week moving average. So the fact that if the market does pull back to 25,000, it would just be just below the 200-week moving average, giving us a retest, which would be healthy if we're able to hold it, right? And then probably a bullish confirmation that the market's going to continue higher. So yeah, so just to summarize, I do think that with the monthly close having 4 consecutive green candles in a row, with with Bitcoin possibly coming down to retest the 200 week, which is a very important level of support, and of course with the $330,000 being strong resistance, I do think that Bitcoin will probably come down and retest 25,000 before continuing higher. Of course, I will be invalidated if we're able to hold the 50-day moving average and around 27,000 support level. If we hold this level, then I'll be invalidated and we'll probably continue up higher. But for now, with the Fed meeting, especially with the Fed meeting tomorrow, depending on what they say, that's going to be a big catalyst. So of course, we're going to have to wait and see what the Fed does on Wednesday. And I'll update you with a chart on Thursday and a video next Tuesday explaining what the Fed did and how that could affect the price of Bitcoin going forward. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, useful, or informative, please like this video, leave a comment below, and subscribe for updates. Appreciate all your support. Thank you again, and have a great day.